Here's another Japanese ephemera journal that I've made. As you can see, it's got a silk tie and fabric cover made from printed fabric onto vintage linen, and then this cover is an old poetry book page with encaustic wax over it. There's absolutely hours of work have gone into this journal, lots of different techniques. So we've got some leaf prints, prints with encaustic wax over them, and a photograph, again sort of painted and stitched with silk added onto it, put into an old photo frame. Lots of vintage Japanese papers from the 1950s. Another old photograph, pieces of silk that have been printed, stitched in, a gold leaf, again stitched onto silk onto an old page, more adapted photographs with silk and stitch on them, some interesting old printed rice paper, some petals that I've put onto some transparent paper, more interesting pages in pockets and a photograph that's been stitched and adapted, some flower heads, another photograph, again with some paint and different marks made onto it, and that's in a little pocket made of gauze. Print of some flowers with stitch, silk, on some rice paper and some more old seed heads. More stitch and silk here. A leaf print, a pocket with another photograph with stitch on it and encaustic wax. Gorgeous photo of a little baby, again with some silk. Another leaf print here, the photograph attached to it. One of my favourites, absolutely love this picture of this little girl, again with encaustic wax over it and some different marks and a flower put on top with some stitching all around the edge. Another pocket here with a really pretty Japanese picture, some old Japanese papers and photograph. Some petals that have been trapped under some paper. More leaf prints and stitching. Another photograph here, again that I've painted and stitched into and put into an old photograph frame. A photograph there. This is some bamboo that I painted and put under some transparent paper. And some little lanterns that hang down. Some more prints attached onto vintage paper. A seed head, another of those pictures of the girl that I adore, a butterfly print put onto rice paper with silk and stitch. This is an old Japanese form of some sort. It belonged to an architect, so I assume it's something to do with construction. And another adapted photograph here, a little toddler with a beautiful green colour around it, again with silk and stitch. This is a gorgeous print from the Graphics Fairy, again stitched on with silk, made with a photo transfer method onto transparent paper, so it's got a really lovely aged feel. More leaf prints, a little booklet that I've made here out of an old knitting pattern or a sewing pattern, again all in Japanese. Another leaf print of the bamboo that you saw earlier, and a sketch of some lilies, more leaf prints and a photograph. More photographs, image, another Graphics Fairy one actually, put onto card, painted and waxed and scratched into. Makes a really lovely texture. And interesting picture of a Japanese truck, again with silk attached and stitched in. Really pretty picture here, another Japanese photograph with silk, sari silk added into it. And the final pages.